championship series.
I think we're excited about playing Ole Miss. Congratulations to Ole Miss for making it too, as well as us, and looking forward to the opportunity to play the great game we love, but it's baseball. And so it's about it for me.
Okay. Okay, questions for the student athletes. Let's start over here. Kylie.
Thank you. Eddie Radosevich, Soonerscoop.com, for Jimmy and Tanner. Just as far as this is obviously where you guys want to be, playing in the series this weekend, but is there any sadness that this is kind of the end of the journey for you guys, and specifically with this group, knowing how great the chemistry has been all throughout the year?
Tanner, you start, please.
Yeah, I don't think there's any sadness. This is what we worked for the entire year. Everything has been leading up to this moment. I think we're just extremely excited to be in the position that we are, and that we have this opportunity with this group of guys. And how else would you want to finish it off?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, finishing this year with this type of group, we're going to be sharing memories for a lifetime. So, there's definitely no sadness. I think we're one big family, and we're going to be sticking through thick and thin with these guys. And, we're just going to enjoy every moment and then just keep going.
Back here in the middle.
Justin Martinez, the Oklahoman, also for Jimmy and Tanner. I think there was a tweet from one of Brett's old coaches saying that even when he's injured, he's one of those guys that's going to be able to help his teammates get better just from the dugout. Is that what you guys have also seen out of him since he got injured?
Oh, no doubt. I've been playing Brett with him since junior college. He's one of those guys that brings electricity in the dugout, which is key for us because once he brings energy to us, we take it out on the field. He's one of those guys he's going to do his role, and he's just going to help us out any way he can.
Well said.
Or ditto. Okay. Okay, back here in the back. Howard?
First of all, Howard Borden, KOB. I'm Omaha. Skip, congratulations to you in Oklahoma. Jimmy and Tanner, I always ask this question. As fans of the game yourself, besides playing the game, what do you admire about your opponent, Mississippi? Just thoughts on their style of play, the student athletes that you'll be playing the next 3 days.
Jimmy, you start.
They're a great group they're a good team. Any team that makes it here, they're going to be awesome. We're going to have to respect them, and we're going to, just stick with our game plan and do our thing.
No, yeah, they're in a lot of ways similar to us. They do a lot of small things well. They got power in the lineup. They're a really good ball club. They've been playing with a chip on their shoulder, just like we have. They were in question for regional, and they're here to make a statement just like we are. So they're going to be tough, but we're going to be ready for it.
Okay, over here.
Josh Calloway with All Sooners. Tanner, after the game the other day, I asked Skip about Jimmy and what he brings to the team in leadership, and obviously just a big part of the team. Not to put you on the spot with him sitting right next to you, but can you talk about just what he brings to the team in terms of leadership, but also just a big part of the team offensively and defensively?
No, yeah, Jimmy's a huge part of our team. One of the best things about Jimmy is he'll get on to you when he needs to, and there's not a whole lot of guys on the team that do that, call you out on stuff that's going on in the game. And it's not just, in the game of baseball, it's in life too. He's just always been that guy. He's a leader for us, but he's also a very explosive player, Jimmy can we call him Jimmy Barrels for a reason. The guy can swing it. Is a great leader behind the plate, just does a really good job for us, and really calms the pitchers down more than anything.
Okay, back over here.
Lee Benson from KWTV, News 9 in Oklahoma City. For Tanner, how would you describe, you guys have been here now for over a week, how would you describe the vibe around the team throughout all these days? You played fewer games and practices, it seems like. What's it like around? Is it different than it was at Supers, regionals? or is it kind of the same as it's been for the last couple months?
No, it's to me, I think it's been pretty much the same. Obviously, all the extra things that we're doing here has been happening, but we're getting new fans left and right. But other than that, the team, charisma and everything like that has all been pretty the same. Practices have been the same. And we're taking it one day at a time. It's not like, we're trying to make this bigger than it is. We're here to take charge and do what we do and win a championship. And that's all we've been looking at for the last 4 weeks.
Okay, back over here. Let's see.
Yeah, Parker Thune, 24/7 Sports. Jimmy, Tanner, curious, as you look back at what has gotten you guys to this point, obviously you have to cite the starting pitching and gotten outstanding outings from Jake Bennett as well as Cade Horton and most recently David Sandlin. And wondered from an offensive perspective, could you talk a little bit about what a boost that is, what a lift that is to you guys as a lineup when you got a guy on the mound that's dealing?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, whenever pitching's dominant, it's going to help us as hitters because we know those guys are going to do their thing on the mound. Same with our bullpen guys. I mean, they've been really stepping up and doing their thing, just pounding the zone and just letting our defense work. And as a hitter, both of us hitters, once they do that, I think it gives us all the confidence in the world because, we're just going to stick with our approach and just stay relaxed in the box and, not let the moment get too big and just, stay composed and do our thing.
I think what's been so great is that we're feeding off each other. Is like when the offense isn't so good, the pitching's picking us up. And the pitching's not so good, offense is picking us up. And I think that's part of the reason why we've been so successful. Having that mindset, taking one pitch at a time, goes for both the pitchers and the hitters. So we've been able to execute it, and it's been working.
Okay, John.
Jimmy, John Sokoloff with WCBI TV in Columbus, Mississippi. Tanner already just kind of talked about this, but does it seem like Ole Miss's journey has kind of been similar to your guys, and has that been something y'all have thought about at all in terms of getting to this moment?
Oh, no doubt. Like he said, they have a chip on their shoulder, and so do we. They had a real tough journey. They were the last four in, and they've been battling their way all the way here. Same with us. So, we take into consideration, yes, but we're just, like I said, we're just going to stay composed and do our thing, and we're going to respect our opponent, and we're just going to stick with our game plan.
Okay.
Parrish Alford, Daily Journal, Tupelo, Mississippi. Guys, I'm wondering what have been your impressions? A lot of SEC teams in this College World Series. What have been your impressions of SEC baseball, and how do you see Oklahoma and Texas in the conference in the future relative to baseball?
Well, I think almost all the SEC teams are powerhouses. That's they're really good at recruiting. They got all the facilities and all that stuff. They bring a lot to the table. They're hard competition, a lot of talent, a lot of strength. But at the same time, that's not what baseball is all about. Baseball is about being a team and creating a good culture for your team. And in college baseball, it's about winning. So I think Texas and Oklahoma are going to fit just right in with the SEC. I don't think we're going to make it bigger than it is. We're just going to go into it, balls to the wall, and just get after it.
Yeah, you hit it around the spot.
Yeah.
Okay, next question for the players. Anything else? Okay, Ryan, back here.
Ryan McGee, ESPN. Tanner, and I talked to Elko about this too on the other side. What does it mean for you older guys who went through all that in 2020 and to be here on this stage now when this place was sitting empty in June just 2 years ago?
It's pretty special. And that year for us was hard too because I truly felt like that was another Omaha caliber team. So it was difficult, to take that in and accept that. But to be here 2 years later and to be doing what we're doing here now has just been unbelievable. I never would have thought that I'd be in this position. So it's been awesome, especially being my last year and everything. I'm just so grateful and glory to God.
Okay, up here.
Tarek Mosseri, Norman Transcript. For both of the players, early on in the season, Blake was so strong for you guys. I remember Skip saying that if the whole team kind of took his approach to every at-bat, you guys would be a lot better. now it seems like everybody's doing that. Can you just talk about how much he might have helped you, or what kind of turned the page for that?
Yeah, Blake was one of those guys that we kind of leaned on because he pretty much leads the team in walks, and we kind of take that into consideration with our approach. I mean, we're gonna try to swing at strikes most of the time, and just trying to hit it the middle away, and that's what B-Rob did so well this year. He's just he's getting the right pitches to hit, and that was a whole game plan coming in this. It's just swing at good pitches and just staying composed at the plate, and that's what pretty much B-Rob taught us pretty much in the cages. The little work that we did with him, and yeah, that's pretty much all he did with us. Yeah.
I think at the same time he's just a very relentless player. He hates striking out. Like it really bothers him. So he, when it comes to that stuff, he is all seriousness. So I think that's good in the sense that you're not backing down from your pitcher. And he's a perfect example of that. And I think he's carried that on throughout the whole team.
Okay. Eric, you had a look. Okay. Okay, any more questions for the student athletes then? Guys, thank you. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Appreciate y'all.
Thanks, guys. Okay, questions for Skip. And we'll start back over here. You're the first hand I saw.
Eddie Radosevich, Centerscoop.com. Skip, because the starting pitching has been so good, Carter, Carson, Ben, Chaz, those guys haven't pitched in 2 weeks. Is there any concern that they haven't been out there in a real game in the setting that they're going to be in possibly this weekend?
A little bit, but not much. I mean, you just pound the strike zone. It's the biggest thing. They're not going to lose any rhythm. They've been throwing bullpens. Every time we practice, we throw bullpens, and it's different. We got to go through a process of trying to make the bullpen game-like, but it's hard trying to use it as purpose. So we do that a lot, and I'm really proud of those guys as much as anything. When you have 27 guys on your team, every one of them have value at some point. Your job, if you're not in the lineup that day, is to pull for your teammate. We talk about the game's not fair at times to them either, and it's really in our world today. It's got to be as selfless as it can be, especially when you can just go, I'm not pitching anymore. I'm just going to go somewhere else and get on the portal, and that's what we have to deal with every day. And unfortunately, it's a bad system, and we got to continue to create hope. We got to continue to finish. We got to continue to talk to those guys to try to build them up. Hey, man, you never know who's going to make the most important pitch or who's going to have the most important at bat.
Okay, Brett.
Justin Martinez, the Oklahoman. Skip, I want to ask you about Brett. Just what have you seen out of him in terms of leadership post-injury?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that he does really well. He's been through it twice this year, and so he understands that side of it, and he might pick something off in the game itself, or help somebody through an at bat, or try to get into an at bat with that hitter. That's what we talk about, is trying to put yourself on the field even though you're not playing. And he's done a great job with that, and that leadership, that role that he's done, and that has been super.
Jesse Gritton and Norman transcripts. Skip, especially during the postseason, you guys have won in a variety of ways, whether it's explosive offenses or if it's more of a defensive battle. Just what can you say about your team's ability to find ways to win, and how big is that going into this championship series?
Well, I mean, just trying to win pitches. That's the biggest thing. And if it's hitting a home run, moving a guy over, or throwing a quality strike, or a quality breaking ball, or making a play in the middle of the field, or diving over whatever it means, those guys are going to do what they can to win a baseball game and to win that pitch. And we talk about winning pitch and being present and being in the moment on that pitch.
Okay, Lee.
Lee Benson from KWTV News 9 in Oklahoma City. Coach, Tanner was talking about how the team is feeling this kind of the same way it has been, ever since this run began. When you have the mantra of Team of Davids, but you're the only unbeaten team left in this tournament, is it difficult at all to make sure the guys still have that mentality that they are the Team of Davids now that you're the only team left that hasn't lost a game?
Well, they're going to go out and play the game one pitch at a time and try to play against the baseball. I mean, it's what we talk about. It's what we do. They're going to pick each other up. It's going to be fun. It's fun watching those guys play. I mean, you're kind of, as a coach, you're just like a bus driver, man. You're just trying to figure out who's going to be on the bus, and they're going to give you effort. And that's all you can ask out of them. You can't ask those guys to be somebody they're not. Just go out and give a good effort. And if we win that day, we win that day. If we don't win that day, you know what? It's going to be, the sun's going to hopefully come up tomorrow, and you're going to wake up, and that's what it's going to be like.
Okay, over here. Eric.
Nick Suss with the Clarion Ledger. Skip, Ole Miss has pitched it so well this postseason. What have you seen from them in your scout or even just watching games here that's allowed them to have that success?
Yeah, I mean, they pitch fearless. They pound the strike zone. They do a good job. You know, Coach Bianco's been around for a long time. He understands that environment. He's a really, really good coach and runs a great program. And so it's who they are, that what they do. They were the number one team in the country when we started. I mean, look at it. I mean, how many people y'all got coming to your games? Thousands and thousands and thousands. I mean, you know, you look at the environment, what they play in. This environment's not any bigger environment that they play in at home all the time. And so he does a great job, and it's fun to be on the other side watching. It's going to be fun coaching against him.
Okay, Michael.
Michael Katz, Daily Journal. I think Jimmy and Tanner alluded to a little bit, but can you just talk about the similarities between your team and Ole Miss and just sort of the journey that you guys have had this year?
Well, John said it best. I mean, you look at the journey they've been told, you know, they might not get in or might get in or whatever. They're going to fire Bianco or whatever. That was a joke. I mean, it's incredible because that guy's been last year they're wanting, you know, LSU's wanting to hire him. And it's really what we live in our world in coaching and baseball every day. You're only as good as your last outing, you know, which is not good. And I think the similarities are they're really talented. And we've got some talented folks in the middle of our field as well. Their shortstop's really good. Catcher's really good. And bench plays with his heart. We have guys that do the same thing. Their pitching's been really good. Our starting pitching's been really good. They've played with a chip on their shoulder ever since they got in. It's been fun to watch those guys. They played against a good Southern Miss team. Scott Berry's a great friend of mine. You know, I had one of the best players I've ever had, best player I've ever seen in my life. Died in 2001. His name was Brian Coe. He played for me at Navarro in 1998. I don't know if you guys know a lot about who Brian Coe is, but he was a pretty special person. And he's from Mississippi, and I had a lot of good friends. Corky from Meridian, Mississippi, so it's a good fit.
Okay, John.
Hey, Skip, John Sokoloff, WCBI TV down in Mississippi. You mentioned it with Nick's question there about the pitching, but Hunter Elliott, I mean, what have you seen from him, and what impresses you the most about the left-hander?
I mean, his delivery. You know, he's kind of funky a little bit. He's going to pound the strike zone. It's going to be a great matchup. It's going to be a great opportunity for us. It's he is tough, and I mean that's what Coach Bianco brings. I mean, you can see the toughness in their team and how they play. It's going to be fun to go up against them.
Okay, Eric, and then we'll go to a Zoom call.
Hey, Skip. Eric Olson with the Associated Press. You've kind of touched on this in the past, but now that you're on the doorstep, could you just kind of comment a little bit on the potential for the sweep with softball on national titles and just how big of a deal that would be?
Well, I mean, you know, that's what the University of Oklahoma is known about. There's only one, and we talk about that. And Patty's done a great job. I mean, she reminds me of Coach Garrido and what just being around her and what her presence and her team's been incredible. If we get the opportunity to do the same thing, we're here. And if it happens, that's great. If it doesn't happen, I mean, what are we going to do? Go fishing? That's what I look at it and go recruiting. So.
Okay, let's take a call from the Zoom. Please state your name, affiliation, and your question.
Hey, Skip. Eli Letterman, Tulsa World. You've spoken about Mike, and I know you were both in Omaha in 2014. I'm wondering if you guys have any other previous connections before this week in Omaha.
Well, Coach McDonald coached for him at Ole Miss when He's the head coach at Louisville, and when I was at Navarro, they would come over and recruit our players. I mean, when I was at Navarro, so that's really the only action I've had really with Coach Bianco. And so, I mean, I've always, you go out and you watch the things that he's done, and you respect the things that he's done as a head coach and how he handles his business, I think his son made the last out against a no-hitter against LSU in 2020, and it was a rocket hitting a 6-0, and Zaragoza backhand and throw across the infield, and you could see the both his sons are really good players, and it's been fun to watch those guys and watch him coach as a leader and a person that he is.
Back over here.
Josh Callowith, All Sooners. Skip, obviously Kendall was a huge part of getting you here. Hasn't found it with the bat yet here in Omaha. Just what have you seen from his at-bats this week, and how have you seen him, I guess, respond to, obviously still searching for that first hit here at the CWS?
Well, don't write about his first hit or not his first hit, because then he's going to start trying even harder, Josh. Hitting's hard. I mean, it's really hard. And he just continues the process of seeing good pitches. If he starts trying really hard, he's going to fail. This is what the game does to you. And so I know he's going to give us good effort, and I know he'll run in that wall. He'll try to climb the fence to catch a ball. He'll take a 95-mile-an-hour fastball off his jaw. I know all those things about him, and that's one thing that has been really good. When he starts trying to get hits and makes it about himself and not make it about a team, then we won't be very good. It doesn't matter. But he's going to be playing left field because he plays with a passion similar to guys that we want to play.
Okay, Mike.
Mike Patterson, Omaha World Herald. Coach, just talk about the importance of that first game tomorrow night, and who's your starter going to be?
Jake Bennett. What was the first question? Talk about what?
The importance of the first game tomorrow night.
No, Jake Bennett will throw first, and then Horton on Saturday, and then we'll put figure it out on Sunday or Monday.
Okay, Parrish.
Parrish Alford, Daily Journal, Tupelo. Skip, I asked this about your players, of your players, but could you just talk about what you think college baseball looks like when Texas and Oklahoma join the SEC?
The SEC is a lot like, the baseball programs are a lot like our football program. I mean, it's incredible. And looking forward for the opportunity. I love the Big 12. I've been in the Big 12 for a long time. It's great. We decided we had the best athletic director in the country. We decided to go to the SEC. That's great. We're looking forward to the opportunity, looking forward to playing against all those great teams. I know it's big environments. It's going to be great for our kids, good recruiting tool. Not that the Big 12 hasn't been. We're here today representing the Big 12. And I said it this morning on the ESPN radio. You look at West Virginia, they could be sitting right where we're at. Our conference was a really good conference this year. And it has been for the last 15 years that I've been in it. And we're just looking for the opportunity, and going to the SEC is going to make this is a new step moving forward. And college baseball is changing, and we've got to continue to grow. And because at one time, baseball was a national pastime, and we got to continue to grow in that area. Because the game of college baseball, it's about the spirit of the game. And you get up there and you hear Boomer Sooner, or people screaming and yelling like they have here. That's what's incredible about it. It'll raise the hair, on your neck. I mean, that's what it's about. It's the passion that those guys put into it.
Okay, Skip. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to bring Coach Bianco in here now, and still photographers first.